Rome, a name that echoes through history, a civilization whose influence continues to resonate even today. This video is going to be about the rise and fall of one of the most powerful empires of all time, the Roman Empire. So stay tuned. Let's start with the origins of Rome. According to legend, the city was founded in 753 BC by Romulus, who killed his twin brother. But regardless of how exactly it began, what we do know for certain is that Rome started out as a small Italian city-state, surrounded by others just like it. However, over time, thanks to a combination of superior military tactics, clever diplomacy, and sheer ambition, Rome gradually subjugated its neighbors and established itself as the dominant power in Central Italy by the middle of the 3rd century BC. By this point, Rome had grown into a major player on the Mediterranean stage, thanks largely to the efforts of ambitious leaders such as Julius Caesar. Under his successors, the Roman Empire reached its peak during the rule of Augustus, who reigned from 27 BC to 14 AD. During this era, Rome's territorial expanse rivaled that of Alexander the Great's empire, stretching from Britain in the north to Egypt in the south and encompassing vast regions of the Middle East and North Africa. Rome was not merely a collection of conquered lands, but a tightly knit web of provinces bound together by a common culture, language, and system of governance. The Pax Romana, or Roman peace, ushered in an unprecedented era of stability, prosperity, and cultural exchange throughout the empire. Trade flourished, cities thrived, and the arts and literature reached new heights. So what were Rome's greatest achievements? First off, their architecture was incredible. The Colosseum, a symbol of Rome's grandeur, hosted spectacular public events and symbolized the empire's power. The aqueducts, these marvels of engineering, brought fresh water into the city, supplying the population with a vital resource: roads. The Romans built an extensive road network that facilitated trade, communication, and military movement across their vast empire. The roads were not just for transportation. They were a testament to Roman engineering prowess. The Roman legal system, which emphasized justice and the protection of property rights, laid the groundwork for many modern legal systems. Their cultures spread throughout the empire through the Latin language, Roman literature, and philosophy, and the arts. Roman art and sculpture celebrated both realism and idealized beauty, influencing artistic trends for centuries. However, as great as Rome was, it wouldn't last forever. So let's talk about the factors that led to its decline. Internal corruption, instability, and economic troubles plagued the empire. A series of weak or ineffective rulers failed to address pressing issues and maintain unity within the vast realm. Economic challenges included heavy taxation, inflation, and the devaluation of Roman currency, leading to financial strain for both the government and the populace. Furthermore, Rome's overextended borders made it vulnerable to external threats. While the empire had previously successfully defended its frontiers, the later Roman army increasingly relied on foreign mercenaries rather than citizen soldiers. This shift in military composition may have contributed to the weakening of Rome's defensive capabilities. Moreover, the late Roman Empire faced a series of devastating attacks from various Germanic peoples, collectively known as barbarians. These tribes, driven by a combination of factors including pressure from other nomadic groups, climate change, and the desire for land and resources, exerted increasing pressure on the empire's borders. Now, one particularly brutal and protracted conflict was the Gothic War, which took place between the Eastern Roman Empire and the Ostrogoths, a Germanic people. Led by their king, Theodoric the Great, the Ostrogoths launched a campaign to establish a kingdom within the Western Roman Empire. The war resulted in widespread destruction and instability, weakening Rome's defenses and exacerbating its internal problems. Now, despite these challenges, the Roman Empire managed to endure for centuries, adapting and evolving in the face of adversity. However, the pressures continued to mount. In the mid-5th century, the Western Roman Empire faced a critical turning point when the Germanic general Alaric and his Visigoths sacked Rome in 410. This event, a stark reminder of Rome's vulnerability, sent shockwaves throughout the empire. Then, only 60 years later, in 476 AD, the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic leader Odoacer, marking the traditional date for the fall of the Western Roman Empire. But you should keep in mind that while the Western Roman Empire did indeed fall in for 76 AD, the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive for another 1,000 years. And there are several important things to remember about the fall of Rome. First off, the fall wasn't sudden. It was a gradual process that spanned centuries. Second, Rome didn't fall because of a single cause. Instead, it was due to a combination of internal and external factors that ultimately overwhelmed the empire, its capacity to govern effectively and defend its borders. And finally, the legacy of Rome endured. Despite the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD, its contributions to law, language, architecture, and culture continued to influence European civilization for centuries. In fact, many of the ideas and innovations that we take for granted today can trace their roots back to ancient Rome. And now, for some extra tidbits about the fall of Rome. Let's start with the sack of Rome by the Goths. As I mentioned before, in 410 AD, the Visigoths under the leadership of King Alaric I sacked Rome, pillaging the city and carrying off immense treasures. This event was a significant blow to the prestige and power of the Western Roman Empire. You see, Rome had long been considered the invincible city, and its sacking shook the inhabitants in the wider Mediterranean world. It demonstrated that no city or empire was truly immune to destruction. To make matters worse, the sack of Rome caused immense suffering to the local population. Homes were destroyed, valuable works of art and literature were looted or burned, and countless lives were lost. The devastation left a lasting impact on the city and its people, contributing to Rome's eventual decline. Then there's the story of Romulus Augustulus, the last Western Roman emperor. He came to power in 475 AD at the age of 18, having been placed on the throne by his father Orestes, a Roman general of Germanic origin. Romulus's reign was turbulent and short-lived. Faced with opposition from various Germanic groups, including the Visigoths and the Burgundians, Romulus struggled to maintain control over the crumbling empire. In 476, a Germanic general named Odoacer deposed Romulus, ending the Western Roman Empire. Although Romulus's role in the final years of the empire was limited, he holds a significant place in history as the last emperor of the Western Roman Empire. Lastly, there's the Battle of the Catalonian Plains, which took place in 451 AD. This battle was fought between the Western Roman Empire and a coalition of Germanic tribes, including the Goths, Vandals, and Burgundians, is considered one of the largest battles in ancient history. The battle resulted in a decisive victory for the Romans, but it also highlighted the growing threat posed by the Germanic peoples. The Roman army, although victorious, suffered heavy losses, and the Germanic tribes continued to press their incursions into Roman territory in the years that followed. And that's going to wrap things up for now. But if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you want to watch more videos like this, feel free to do so. Thank you for watching.